What's going on, my friends? My name's Jason. Today we're going to be talking about the a6000 and hot air ballooning. And yeah, this video is going to be a little bit different, a little bit more relaxed. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get it. So the a6000 has been pretty much a massive feature on this channel, mainly because, you know, I truly believe in this camera, what it pretty much stands for, what it's capable of in 2021 for how old it is. Like, this is one of the first Sony E-mount cameras that really sparked something pretty big in the aps-c range. Like, its capabilities still relatively hold up in 2021. And I decided to throw this in pretty much the deep end with the kit 16 to 50, 3.5 to 5.6, doing hot air ballooning. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This is a difficult task for any camera, especially this camera this old, paired with that average low light performing kit lens. And this is the one thing that I actually recommend, you know, when using old cameras like the a6000, is pretty much to upgrade your lens straight away. This is where you're gonna be noticing an incredible difference in your image quality with photography and video. So yeah, with the dated 24 megapixel camera, it's it only shoots 1080p at 60 frames per second. You know, but for some, that's pretty much enough. And I certainly have proved this many times before. By the way, this is actually filmed on the a6000 right now. This is filmed in 1080 upscaled into a 4K timeline. I mean, it looks pretty decent, right? I mainly made sure that my lighting is right on par, the exposure is perfect, and you know, you can definitely get really nice, incredible images and video. I'm currently filming on the Sigma 30 f1.4 lens, which, you know, is a brilliant low light lens, and I definitely could have used that lens with hot air ballooning, but I thought, you know, hey, what? Let's challenge myself, use the kit lens, because I know a lot of people out there have the a6000 and the kit lens, and this is all they've got. So challenge myself into this situation and just kind of coach you guys into what you can achieve with a basic setup like that. Now, one of the most important parts is lighting. Now, if you are running and gunning, you don't really have too much control of your lighting. But what if you do have some control of your lighting? Get a key light, 45-degree angle. The larger the light source, the softer the light is going to be. Please definitely invest in key light. One of the major things that you're gonna have to utilize with your light is a softbox. So I've got the 120 centimeter softbox, which is a larger source, which gives it a nice soft roll off. You can also do some neg fill as well. So get a cutter and cut a bit of light. Do I have, you know, the reflectors, the fleckies? Use that on one side and you can actually cut a lot of the reflecting light. Even get a rim light like I've got here. This is filling this side of the face, and that creates a little bit more depth because you are going to be watching this on a 2D screen. On your smartphone, on a TV, on a computer, it's 2D, it's not 3D, so you're gonna create more depth with lighting and definitely depth of field as well when it comes to using a shallow, I suppose a wide open aperture. That's why I've got this here, creates a little bit of foreground, I'm the midground, the far background is over there, nice and lit up. But the same thing with lighting on your subject. So you've got my nose is, you know, your foreground, the midground is my cheeks, and you can see the rim light is lighting up the back. So that creates that 3D sort of depth. So what is your favorite lens with your a6000? Comment below, I'd really like to know. Are you still working with the 16 to 50 kit lens? Let me know in the comment section below. But the biggest tips I can give you when filming in low light situations like the hot air ballooning is making sure that you're shooting in manual. So make sure you choose your frame rate, 24, 25, or 30 frames per second, and double your frame rate should be your shutter speed so you can get the most amount of natural motion blur. So 25 frames per second will give you 1/50th of a second, or 30 frames per second will give you 1/60th of a second shutter. And then all you need to do is keep the aperture at its lowest if you can to accept as much light in as possible. If you did have that 1.4, brilliant, bring it to 1.4, but 3.5 to 5.6 was that variable aperture in the kit lens. That was what I had to work with. And then I actually had to boost the ISO up, which I suppose gave me a little bit more exposure. But remember, the lower the ISO you have, the less grain that's going to be noticeable in your image. So try and keep your camera at its base ISO, depending on its picture profile. This one doesn't have a picture profile, but I did create one to cut back on contrast, sharpness, and I think it was color as well, saturation. I turned those down a little bit, so I could add it in post as well. So yeah, keep it at its base ISO, but if you do have to bump it up, you know, by all means, bump it up in camera rather than bumping it up in post. So that next tip would be to have a faster lens. Like I said, if you have an f1.4, that's gonna bring much more light into your sensor than a 3.5 or 5.6 would. And you know, luckily the a6000 is pretty decent in low light. It's not as good as the a6400, definitely not as good as the a7 III or a7S III when it comes to low light situations. But nonetheless, try and get a fast lens so you can bring in more light into the sensor to keep that ISO down. Now, I am a big advocate for, you know, getting the right tool for the right job. And most definitely, that's why I've got the FX6, because for the kind of work I do, this is the right tool for the right job. I wouldn't necessarily use the a6000 on some professional jobs that I'm gonna be doing or have been doing. The FX6 definitely does perfectly fine in those situations. And by all means, I could have used the a7S III and a G Master lens in this situation, but I know there are some people that are limited with, you know, the camera that's in their hands, which could be the a6000 and a kit lens. So the point of this video is that I want you to get out there and stop worrying about your gear and just create with the gear that you have and really upskill, I suppose, your knowledge on each situation. I've never been hot air ballooning before, didn't know what kind of space I was going to be working with, so I wanted to grab the widest lens I had. Yes, I could have got the Sigma 16 f1.4, that would have been perfect for the low light situation. It's about a 24mm full frame equivalent, so it's not bad for vlogging, but the 16 to 50 I know a lot of people have, and that is what they're limited to. So stop worrying about the gear, get out there, start shooting the most things you can. So I did a poll where I asked pretty much what your pains are when it comes to filming. Out of 731 voters, 31% said editing speed, 24% said no time, 20% said not enough gear, and 19% said pretty much film skills. And there were 20 actually people in the comments section that said creator's block. So, you know, I bet there was more people that wanted to put creator's block, but they didn't comment. But they did actually, you know, vote for film skills. That can come down to not knowing what to film. Creating on the job will actually increase your skills over time. The more you create, the more you're actually going to understand what not to do and fix it next time. So that is really, really important information that I want you to take away from this video, is that you just have to keep creating. I've produced, what, 250 odd YouTube videos, and I am still learning how to create YouTube videos. I've created multiple client jobs for high-end clients, and I am still learning how to create better videos for those clients, because every situation is different. So whether you're going hot air ballooning with your family, whether you're going to a birthday party, take your camera and start creating now. This is going to be increasing your skill set, and by all means, you're gonna be creating better stuff than me with the a6000 and the kit lens. But this is pretty much video is to show you what you can create with the a6000, and I've done many other videos before with that, and I really, really recommend you to get out there and start filming today. Anyway guys, this was a very quick and easy video. I just wanted to express my opinions on the a6000 and on people who pretty much said not enough gear. 20% of you really just need to stop worrying about having not enough gear and getting out there and shooting. I can understand having the FX6, you know, is a game changer for me when it comes to my client work. I can understand there are certain times where you cannot use the a6000 and you don't have enough gear. So just increase those film skills and definitely, I suppose, keep shooting the most you can. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it that thumbs up. That would be absolutely amazing. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you already haven't. And yeah guys, I'll see you in the next one. All right, let's get it.